Chosen one, stop scrolling. This is not coincidence. This is heaven's urgent alert. The final message you must see right now. God has been watching you scroll past 1,000 messages, searching for something real, something that speaks to the ache in your chest, the questions that keep you awake at 3 a.m., the emptiness that feels like it's swallowing you whole. But this is different. If you feel your spirit trembling right now, if something deep inside just stirred awake, type 777 in the comments. Don't hesitate, don't think. Just type it. That number isn't random. It's your spiritual fingerprint on this moment that heaven orchestrated just for you. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, and God himself whispers, "Don't move until I speak." That is exactly where you are right now. Not geographically, spiritually. You're on the precipice of something so profound that the angels have been holding their breath, waiting for this exact second. You've been asking for a sign, begging for proof that your life still matters, wondering if God remembers your name after all the disappointment, all the loss, all the nights you've cried yourself to sleep feeling forgotten. This is your sign. Before this hour ends, I will reveal why your pain was not wasted, why every tear was collected in heaven's bottle, why that specific date circled on God's calendar could unlock everything you've been praying for, and why your breakthrough is closer than your next breath. Heaven is no longer whispering, it's roaring, and if you're still breathing, if your heart is still beating, this message was written in the stars with your name carved in light. To everyone who's supported this message through prayer, through time, through seeding into this mission, you're not just helping a channel reach more souls. You're standing with heaven itself as it reaches into the darkness to find his lost children. If you turn away now, you'll miss the one thing heaven wrote for you alone. But if you stay, if you lean in, what you're about to hear has the power to rewrite everything. Now breathe. Stay close. Because this is just the beginning. Type 777 if you're ready to receive what's yours. Are you watching the news and feeling like the world is spinning out of control? Are you lying awake at night wondering if your time on earth has any meaning left? Are you staring at yourself in the mirror, seeing wrinkles and grey hair, and asking God why he's keeping you here when everything you once loved seems to be slipping away? Listen to me, chosen one. The enemy wants you to believe those lies. He wants you to think that because you're 65, 70, 80 years old, your purpose has expired. He whispers that your best days are behind you, that your dreams are dead, that you're just waiting for the final curtain call. But I'm here to shatter that deception with the thunder of heaven's truth. The world around you is indeed collapsing into chaos. Economic storms are brewing, families are fracturing, young people are lost in darkness, spiritual rebellion is rising like floodwaters. And yes, your body may be weary, your friends may be gone, your children may be too busy to call. The loneliness cuts deep some nights, doesn't it? You've buried dreams that once set your heart on fire. You've buried friends who promised they'd grow old with you. You've buried hopes that seemed so certain when you were young. And in the quiet moments, when the house is too still and the silence too loud, you wonder, God, is there anything left for me? Have you forgotten my name? But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Here's what hell itself trembles to hear. Noah was 600 years old when God called him to build the ark. 600! While everyone else mocked him, called him crazy, dismissed him as a relic from a bygone era, God was preparing him for the greatest rescue mission in history. Genesis 7-6 says, Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters came on the earth. When the world was drowning in wickedness, God didn't choose a young man, he chose a senior. When humanity needed saving, heaven looked past all the strong young backs and sharp young minds and said, I want Noah. The old man, the one they're laughing at. Moses was 80 when God spoke from the burning bush. 80. When Pharaoh needed confronting and Israel needed liberating, God didn't send a young warrior. He sent a shepherd with a walking stick and a speech impediment. You think your age disqualifies you? Your grey hair diminishes you? Your slow walk limits you? God says, enough. You are not finished. Your story is not over. Heaven still has work with your name written on it in golden letters. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who raised the dead, who conquered the grave, is looking at you right now and saying, "My child, I saved the best for last." The urgency isn't just about the world's chaos. It's about your divine assignment that's still sealed in heaven's vault, waiting for you to step into it. Time is not your enemy. It's been your preparation. If this is resonating in your spirit right now, if something is stirring awake inside you that's been dormant for years, don't just watch this passively. Hit that like button as a prophetic act, declaring to heaven and hell that you will not miss your assignment. You will not let the enemy convince you that you're too old for miracles, because what I'm about to reveal next will shatter every limitation you've accepted about your age, your purpose, and God's plan for your remaining years. Chosen one, I need you to lean in close. What I'm about to share will shatter every lie the enemy has whispered in your ear during those long, dark nights when you wondered if God had forgotten your address. You've been asking the question that's been tearing at your soul. Why does God keep me hidden? Why the silence? Why does everyone else seem to be moving forward while I'm stuck in this waiting room of life? Listen to me. That question isn't doubt, it's desperation, and God hears every word. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Your hiddenness isn't abandonment, it's incubation. Every seed that will one day feed a nation must first die in darkness. Every piece of gold that will shine in the king's crown must first endure the fire. Every butterfly that will soar above the storms must first surrender to the suffocating cocoon. You think you're buried? God says you're planted. Look at Joseph, 17 years old, full of dreams and divine visions. Then betrayal, a pit, slavery, false accusations, prison. 13 years of wondering if he'd misheard God's voice. 13 years of questioning if those dreams were just teenage fantasy. But every tear he shed in that dungeon was heaven collecting evidence of his faithfulness. Every night he chose to serve others, instead of serving bitterness, was God watching his chosen one prove he could handle a palace. The prison wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Esther spent 12 months in beauty treatments before she could approach the throne. 12 months of oils and perfumes and preparation that probably felt endless. But that year of hiddenness positioned her to save an entire nation with 4 words: "If I perish, I perish." Your hidden season isn't God's rejection, it's his selection process. Right now, while you're feeling invisible, heaven's blueprint is active. Every tear you've cried has been collected in bottles with your name on them. Every night you thought was wasted was actually heaven's workshop, shaping your character for a calling so significant that a weaker version of you couldn't carry it. The silence you've been interpreting as abandonment? That's actually God removing every voice that would drown out his whisper when he's ready to give you your final instructions. You've been in spiritual surgery, and the operation is almost complete. The old you, the one who would have crumbled under the weight of what's coming, is being replaced with someone who can handle authority, wealth, influence, and responsibility without losing their soul. Every closed door was protecting you from settling for less than his best. Every delayed answer was heaven, making sure the timing would be perfect. Every person who walked away was God removing those who couldn't handle your elevation. If you're ready for your hidden season to break open like a flower that's been underground all winter, if you're ready to step into the palace that's been prepared while you were in the prison, comment, "I'm ready, Lord." Declare it. Let heaven hear your voice. because what's coming next will explain exactly when this transformation begins and why your breakthrough is closer than your next heartbeat. Chosen one, we've arrived at the moment that separates the faithful from the fearful, the test that will reveal who truly hears God's voice and who merely pretends to listen. May 31st isn't just another date on your calendar, it's a divine checkpoint, a spiritual storm so intense that heaven itself has issued a warning. Stay still, stay hidden, or lose everything you've been praying for. You think you've weathered storms before? The rejection, the betrayal, the nights when you questioned if God even remembered your name. Those were training exercises. May 31st is the final exam. Picture this. You're a captain watching a hurricane approach. Every instinct screams, sail out and fight the wind, but the harbor master radios one command: drop anchor, stay in the harbor. Don't move until I give the all clear. Would you trust his wisdom or your panic? That's exactly where you stand right now, chosen one. The enemy has been whispering lies. Go ahead, make that deal. Attend that gathering. Push through like you always do. But God's voice cuts through the noise like thunder. Be still and know that I am God. Remember when Jesus slept in the boat while the storm raged? His disciples panicked, but he knew something they didn't. The storm wasn't there to destroy them. It was there to reveal his power. Mark 4:39 says, "He arose and rebuked the wind, saying, 'Peace, be still.' The storm obeyed instantly. You are in that boat right now. The waves are crashing. The wind is howling. But if you panic and jump overboard on May 31st, you'll miss the miracle of his peace commanding your storm. This isn't superstition, beloved. This is divine alignment. The same God who told Noah to build an ark when there wasn't a cloud in the sky is telling you to shelter when the world sees clear skies. Will you trust his vision over your understanding? Here's what breaks my heart. I know some of you are already making excuses, but I have obligations. People are counting on me. This sounds too extreme. That's exactly what they said about Noah, about Lot, about every chosen one who had to choose between human logic and divine instruction. The door of protection will open once. Obey, and you walk into destiny. Ignore it, and the spiritual storm will swallow everything you've built. Your peace, your progress, your divine positioning, gone in one day of disobedience. Joshua 24:15 declares, "Choose this day whom you will serve. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient. Today, right now. In this moment when heaven holds its breath waiting for your response. Chosen one, I need you to say it out loud right now. Don't just think it, speak it into existence. I will obey. I will stay under his covering. Your words have power. Your declaration matters. Write it down below. Let heaven and earth witness your covenant of trust. Because what's coming after this test will require every ounce of the faith you're building right now. But there's something else you need to know about what happens when you pass this test. You've been waiting in the valley long enough, chosen one. Tonight, everything changes. For too many years, you've watched others receive their miracles while you stood on the sidelines, wondering when God would remember your address. You've prayed until your knees were raw, cried until your tears ran dry, and asked that haunting question that keeps you awake. God, have you forgotten me? The answer thunders from heaven. I have never taken my eyes off you. Right now, at this very moment, the spiritual realm is erupting with activity. Angels are receiving their marching orders. Your name is being called in the courts of heaven. The breakthrough you've been begging for isn't coming tomorrow or next week. It's breaking through the atmosphere right now. This is not just one blessing coming your way. This is overflow. This is a flood of restoration, healing, and favor that will chase you down like a divine tsunami. Malachi 3:10 declares, I will throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Those floodgates aren't cracking open. They're being blown off their hinges. Your wasted years. God says, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. Your broken body that screams in pain every morning. Isaiah 53:5 promises, by his wounds you are healed. Your lost joy that disappeared in the wreckage of disappointment. Psalm 30:11 declares, you turned my wailing into dancing. You've been carrying something small in your pocket, haven't you? Maybe it's just a mustard seed of faith, barely visible. But like David with a single stone facing Goliath, you hold something that looks insignificant. In God's hand, that tiny faith is enough to bring down every giant that's been terrorizing your life. The giants have names: poverty, sickness, depression, loneliness. They've been roaring at you for decades, making you feel small and defeated. But today, those giants meet their match. Not your strength. God's strength flowing through your willing heart. Psalm 23:5 says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Your enemies thought they were planning your funeral. Instead, God's been preparing your feast. While they were plotting your destruction, he was orchestrating your restoration. The gates of heaven are not opening slowly. They are flinging wide for you with such force that the sound is echoing through eternity. Isaiah 54:17 promises, no weapon forged against you will prevail. Every curse spoken over your life is being reversed. Every door slammed in, your face is swinging open. Every dream they said was dead is being resurrected with resurrection power. Can you feel it building? This isn't your imagination. This is the rumble of heaven's cavalry coming to your rescue. Your breakthrough isn't a gentle tap on the shoulder. It's an explosion of divine favor that will leave your enemies speechless and your faith stronger than steel. If you believe your flood of favor is coming, type 777 right now. Don't hesitate, don't doubt. Proclaim it with the authority of someone who knows their God never lies. But this breakthrough comes with a responsibility that will shock you to your core. Listen to me, chosen one. Something profound is happening inside you right now. You feel it, don't you? That stirring, that awakening, that quiet revolution in your spirit. The person who started watching this message is not the same person hearing these words. You've been carrying a lie for too long. The lie that your best days are behind you, that at your age, transformation is impossible, that God has forgotten your name in the endless scroll of younger, stronger, more relevant lives. But God doesn't see wrinkles. He sees wisdom. He doesn't see limitations. He sees legacy. Right now, this very second, heaven is declaring over you what it declared over Lazarus. Come forth. You've been wrapped in grave clothes of regret, bound by the burial wrappings of what if and too late. But Jesus is standing at the mouth of your tomb saying the same words he spoke 2,000 years ago. Take off the grave clothes and let him go. The caterpillar doesn't know it's about to become a butterfly. It only knows the old body is dissolving, the familiar is disappearing. You've been in that cocoon of crisis, that season of seeming death. But what felt like ending was actually beginning. 2 Corinthians 5:17 declares, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. Not will come, has come, not might happen, is here. You are not just surviving another day. You are reigning in life through Jesus Christ. You are not just existing, taking up space, counting down years. You are chosen to shine with the glory of the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Every furnace you've walked through didn't destroy you. It refined you. Like gold tested by fire, you've emerged with a purity, a depth, a spiritual weight that only comes through suffering surrendered to sovereignty. The enemy whispered, you were finished. But God is shouting, you are just beginning. Look in the mirror tomorrow morning and see what heaven sees. Not the tired eyes that have cried too many tears. See the eyes that have learned to recognize God's faithfulness in the dark. Not the hands marked by age and struggle. See the hands anointed to bless a generation that has forgotten how to hope. You are God's final sign to a world drowning in despair that miracles still walk in flesh. Your life, your breath, your beating heart is heaven's argument that it's never too late for new beginnings. The old you is gone. The identity forged in disappointment, shaped by loss, defined by limitations. That person died in the cocoon. The new creation standing here carries the DNA of divinity, the fingerprints of the Almighty, the heartbeat of eternity. If you feel that shift inside you, if something ancient and eternal is awakening in your spirit, say it aloud right now. I am chosen. Let heaven hear it. Let hell tremble. Let your own ears remember this moment when the real you finally stood up and declared the truth. But this is only the beginning of what God wants to show you about the authority He's placed in your hands. Chosen one. We've traveled together through the valleys of doubt and climbed the mountains of revelation. You were hidden in plain sight, carrying treasures the world couldn't recognize. You were warned by heaven's whispers when others heard only silence. You are rising now like the dawn after the longest night. And here's what I need you to understand with every fiber of your being. You are unstoppable. Not because you're perfect, not because you've never fallen, but because Revelation 12:11 declares, "They triumphed over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony." Your scars aren't shameful marks, they're victory medals. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night you've endured, every moment you felt abandoned has been building toward this moment. This was never about survival, beloved. It was always about revival, not just for you, but for everyone who will see your light. And remember that miracles still happen in America, still happen in broken hearts, still happen when people refuse to give up on God's promises. Think about Lazarus. 4 days dead. Martha said, "Lord, by this time there's a stench." But Jesus called him forth anyway. That's you. The world wrote your obituary, counted you out, said your best days were behind you. But heaven is calling your name right now, and dead things are coming back to life. Your very existence has become a lighthouse in the storm. When others are drowning in despair, your peace cuts through their chaos. When others are lost in darkness, your faith becomes their North Star. You think you're just getting by, but God is using your ordinary Tuesday morning coffee to demonstrate extraordinary grace to someone watching you choose hope again. Isaiah 60:1 says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come." That light isn't something you have to manufacture. It's not a performance you have to perfect. It's the Christ in you, the hope of glory, radiating through your willingness to keep believing when believing feels impossible. Here's your moment of decision. You can close this video and go back to wondering if God really sees you, or you can step into the family of chosen ones who refuse to walk this journey alone. If you know this message pierced straight through to your spirit, don't just watch. Hit that subscribe button and walk with thousands of others who are discovering their divine destiny. Seal this moment by writing in the comments, "I receive my destiny." Those 4 words aren't just a comment. They're a declaration that echoes in the throne room of heaven. And here's what love demands. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Their breakthrough might depend on your obedience. God used Philip to reach the Ethiopian eunuch. He's using you to reach someone in your circle who's forgotten they matter to the King of Kings. Your story isn't over, chosen one. Your greatest chapter is just beginning. The God who parted the Red Sea, who made the sun stand still, who raised the dead, is writing your next page right now. Welcome to your revival. My dear friend, as we close this sacred hour together, I want you to hold on to 3 unshakable truths. First, God sees every tear you've shed in the darkness of your bedroom. He knows your name, your address, and the exact number of grey hairs on your head. Second, your pain has purpose. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every moment you felt forgotten has been weaving together a tapestry of grace that will astound you. Third, your story isn't over. The God who breathed life into Adam's lungs is breathing new life into your dreams right now. You are not walking this path alone. Behind this screen are thousands of souls who understand your journey. They've felt the same abandonment, wrestled with the same doubts, and discovered the same faithful God who never lets go. This isn't just a YouTube channel. It's a family of believers who refuse to let each other fall. In the comments below, share what touched your heart today. Ask your questions. This community stands ready to pray with you, encourage you, and remind you that your breakthrough is closer than you think. And if this message stirred something deep in your spirit, share it with someone who needs to hear these words. You might be the vessel God uses to save someone's life tonight. Before you go, let me ask you this. What would change in your life if you truly believed that God's best days for you are still ahead? What dreams would you resurrect? What fears would you release? Now, let me pray over you, like a grandfather praying over his beloved grandchild. Father God, I lift up every precious soul who has stayed with us this hour. You know their names before I speak them. You see the one struggling with loneliness in apartment 4B. You see the widow who questions if her life still matters. You see the man who lost his job and wonders if he's too old to start over. Lord, place your mighty hand on their shoulders right now. Let them feel your presence like a warm embrace. Open doors that have been sealed shut. Heal hearts that have been broken too many times. Restore dreams that felt buried forever. Give them supernatural strength for tomorrow's challenges and supernatural peace for tonight's rest. May they wake up knowing they are chosen, beloved, and destined for greatness. In Jesus' mighty name, we declare it. Amen. Thank you for trusting me with your time and your heart today. If this message blessed you, hit that subscribe button and join our family. We're here, we're praying, and we're believing for your miracle. Until we meet again, remember, you are loved, you are chosen, you are not alone. God bless you, dear one.